In lesson 6.10, students see the teacher exhale breath into a sample of bromthiamyl blue indicator solution. Let's just see what happens. You'll see that as the breath goes into the bromthiamyl blue, it'll change from blue to sort of like a greenish yellow. Students have already done a lot of work with pH using universal indicator, and they may realize that this means that the solution is slightly acidic. And if they don't, you can let them know that bromthiamyl blue works that way. The question is, what gas from your breath caused this to happen? It could have been some oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and eventually through experimentation, students will see that it is carbon dioxide. And then the question students investigate is whether carbon dioxide from all sources causes a solution to become more acidic. And the science concepts covered are that excess carbon dioxide dissolves in water, makes it more acidic, and that this excess acidity in ocean water has bad effects on coral and other shell-making organisms. So the idea is to do a series of experiments to show that carbon dioxide, whether it's from your breath or from any other source, will cause water to become acidic. So let's take a look at this one. You'd work with students to come up with a procedure for testing water versus carbonated water. And the way we do it is to put a bromthiamyl blue indicator solution in both and then to swirl them and see what happens. We put this cup over the top to trap any carbon dioxide that's in there. The only difference between these two cups is one has water and one has carbonated water. So the only difference is the presence of carbon dioxide. Now we don't let the carbonated water go into the inside cup with the bromthiamyl blue, but we have the gas that's produced from the CO2 go into that inside cup and change the solution from a blue to a greenish. And students know that that means the solution is more acidic. So in this case, we test vinegar in one cup and vinegar and baking soda in another. So we produce a lot of carbon dioxide gas by putting some baking soda in the vinegar, and then we put the bromthiamyl blue indicator in both cups and then see if there's a difference between them. Since the carbon dioxide is very concentrated in the vinegar and baking soda cup, it changes color pretty quickly. So students should begin to realize that carbon dioxide, whether it's from your breath, whether it's from carbonated water, whether it's from a chemical reaction between vinegar and baking soda, all cause water to become more acidic. There's something going on between carbon dioxide and water that makes the water more acidic. And then we do one last test, and that's collecting the gases from a burning candle. So in this case, we're burning a hydrocarbon, which is wax, and we're collecting it in a flask for maybe 10 seconds held above the flame, not directly over the flame to put it out. Then you blow the candle out, and there should be some gases remaining in that one flask. We're adding bromothiamyl blue again to both flasks, and then we'll just see if there's anything from the burning candle that acts like the carbon dioxide did before. And students should know at this point from other work in chapter 6 that a burning flame does produce carbon dioxide gas and water vapor. So this should make sense to them. So the whole point of doing all this is to show that carbon dioxide from any source, including a burning fuel, will react with water and produce an acid. After talking about that with students, there's a video that you can show about ocean acidification that makes the connection between the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and the water in the ocean interacting to make the ocean water more acidic. And students should be able to make that connection because they just saw that carbon dioxide from any source, including burning fossil fuel, will interact with water to make the water more acidic. Now this video, it goes pretty fast. In the lesson, we give you suggested places to stop it and explain to students, but one of the main points they make in the video is that water and carbon dioxide react to form carbonic acid. And then the bad thing for ocean creatures is that they need a carbonate ion and a calcium ion, calcium and carbonate, to make their shell, which is calcium carbonate. But the hydrogen ion from the carbonic acid reacts with the carbonate ion that they need to create bicarbonate ion, which they can't use. So that's really the biggest problem in the ocean acidification story, is that the carbonic acid reacts with the carbonate ion, creating a bicarbonate that the shell-making organisms can't use. Now, one important point for students is that ocean acidification, the term acidification, makes it seem like the ocean is becoming acidic. Well, it's actually not. The ocean is basic. It's about 8.2 or so, but it's becoming more acidic, or in other words, less basic. Nobody is saying that the ocean water is acidic, that its pH is below 7. It's not. But it's becoming more and more acidic or less basic because of all the CO2 interacting with the water. If you're in an NGSS state, the performance expectation, develop and use a model to describe how the total number of atoms does not change in a chemical reaction and thus mass is conserved. You could cover that using 6.10 because they can count the atoms in the reactants and the products and see that there's the same number and type of atom in the reactants as well as the product. And if you look at the foundation boxes that make up that performance expectation, students develop a model. They see that substances react chemically in a characteristic way, and that the total number of each type of atom is conserved. And for a cross-cutting concept, they see that matter is conserved because the atoms in the reactants are the same as in the products. So thanks for watching. Good luck with doing the lesson, and we'll see you next time.